Oh, son.
Brett Kavanaugh did not do it.
Betty says that with me yesterday.
I don't think that's what this podcast is about.
Have we started?
Yeah.
Oh, are we here? We're not on.
We're literally on right now.
We're live?
Yep.
Well, you got to warn us.
I know, right?
You guys have been saying go
Oh.
live for the past 20 minutes talking about other stuff.
have to
Almost,
excuse me.
almost passed gas and everybody would have heard it.
We're having problems with Photoshop
Oh
here.
my gosh. Welcome to Third and Long, the sports podcast in the Third Thoughts Network. I try to be professional, but why? You know, sometimes I wonder. If you're listening live on Spreaker, I appreciate that. If you're listening later anywhere else, I also appreciate that. Leave us a comment or a review. You can catch us on the social at Third Podcast. You can hit us in the chat box during this live broadcast at any time. Lord have mercy.
Ooh, you might not have smelled him pass gas. You might not have heard it in me, but we smell it.
Have
Oh my
mercy.
gosh.
If you're still here after might be the worst intro to any show ever.
Go back and do the thing again, though. Welcome to Third. Oh, did you do that?
Yeah, I did it just
I'm
now.
just kidding, dude.
Oh my gosh.
It's Monday, man.
I think I missed a lunch appointment.
It is. Oh my god.
Somebody important?
Everybody I have lunch with is important.
This is Third and Long.
There's a scale of importance.
This is Third and Long, the sports podcast. I am your host, Monday morning QB1,
Keeping it real.
Clay. I'm with the chief himself in the flesh, who probably should have been somewhere else.
He said he's transferring.
And who's transferring?
He said he's transferring.
Chief's transferring from.
He's transferring.
And I'm with RNDY, our resident bulldog.
Kelly Bryant.
So you think you actually did miss an appointment?
I'm pretty sure.
You can go.
Good Lord.
This is Monday, baby.
Feels like a Monday.
It's Monday all week long here on Third Thoughts.
Junk is just funny to me because what gets me about it is Chief schedule stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, that podcast that's on the calendar every week at the same time. Yeah, forgot about that.
Anyways.
Oh man. Anyways, let's talk about football because there it is. There's the elixir that he needs. It's a full 2 liter of Mountain Dew and a solo cup. He doesn't need ice. He doesn't drink Mountain Dew with ice.
This is amazing. I really wish we had a vodcast right now so you could see what just happened.
It would make the show way more entertaining if you could see this happening. But anyway, let's get into some football news because that's what we're here for. You don't tune into Third and Long for discombobulated intros and ridiculousness about our other jobs and lives. You tune into Third and Long for football, for sports. So let's get into it. That was week 5.
Already, dude.
I know that, and
It's
that's
depressing.
Honestly, that's the first thing I thought when I saw, mainly the record because so Florida State finally went over 500. It's 3-2, and I thought, holy crap, 3-2. That's already 5 games.
We just got to find 3 more games.
That is the second thought I had.
Yeah,
the first thought I had was the season is going too fast. The second thought I had was, could we actually win 3 more and keep the bowl streak alive?
They need those 15 practices. Forget the bowl. They need those 15 practices.
No. See, nobody else understands because y'all haven't won like we have. We haven't had a losing season in 41 years. We haven't missed a bowl in 37 years.
It's coming.
I'm just saying, nobody else has the pressure that we have.
It sucks. I hate pressure. It was almost... No, it's not. It's been really hard to watch. That's what really gets me down. Is I don't mind losing necessarily. I hate watching when things are so bad to the point where you're just like, what is even going on?
And you had Beth Mowins this weekend, right? Oh my Mowins.
That's
Look,
twice
listen.
we've had her this year.
We have to.
That might be the worst punishment out of all of this. Like, it's one thing to lose, to get blown out by Syracuse. It's one thing to hang around with Samford, but to have Beth Mowins twice.
Dude, here's what you need to do to prevent that
It's
from
just
happening.
like-
Listen, you'll need to get a recording of that and put it on for the players next time you're simulating crowd noise, and let them hear what we have to hear.
I actually switched. So I was watching the game on TV on ESPN2. And then I couldn't take it. Because like my blood pressure started going up, and I was sitting on the couch like with anxiety. So I had to go like take a walk. So I went and walked like 3 miles and just listened to it on ESPN radio on the local Orlando channel with Gene Deckerhoff, who's incredible. So I enjoyed that. But watching it was difficult too. Also because the alternate helmet at FSU is cheeks. It's not good.
It's the purple helmet.
Yeah, the garnet, quote unquote, on the helmet is even less garnet than the new garnet. It's like
it's purple.
and then the black is fine.
But I would like to say this.
Is the backpack purple?
I switched over. No, the backpack's red. It's a stupid red. It's not even
It's
garnet.
purple.
Well, I think the backpack is supposed to. I think it's that brand's garnet.
It's terrible.
That's the issue.
But anyway, but let's get the heat off of Florida State. I flipped over to the Florida game
Yeah.
because I was going to flip back and forth.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the FSU game. I flip over to the Florida game. Now I understand they're playing in Mississippi at Mississippi State.
Yeah, with the bells.
With the bells, but the audio was so bad.
Huh.
It was like high-pitched piercing that I couldn't watch the game. At first, I thought it was just, the
Right, the
bells
cowbells,
were
yeah.
overpowering the microphone.
Yeah.
But then even the announcers, there was some kind of like weird white noise, very high-pitched in the broadcast. I couldn't even. Now, I mean, I wouldn't have watched it much.
Yeah, we had that one
But-
on
What a
mute.
game! That was such a.
What a crappy
Boring
game,
game,
dude.
yeah.
And that's coming off of, Tennessee the week before, which was just...
They crushed Tennessee, dude.
No, Tennessee crushed Tennessee. Tennessee had 6 turnovers.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. The Florida State game,
Yeah.
although it was not what Florida State fans necessarily wanted to see, was a very entertaining football game.
It was. It was very back and forth.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the backpack came out. I mean, you always got to be
Backpack
happy.
came out for the closing play.
What- that was-
That for a moment, I was like, I'm about to get a backpack because it got me hyped up.
That was
'Cause
what was
that's
amazing.
The way, that's the way I remember us winning games a couple years ago.
Okay, yeah, but I would like to point out we have not really exemplified high football IQ this season.
Sure.
Even that play itself was not high football IQ. It's 4th down. And they throw the ball, and we make a diving interception.
Just drop it.
If you drop it, you get 20 yards better field position.
Yeah.
So why intercept that ball? Why demonstrate
Right.
I'm not literate of what's happening around me? Our coach, listen, bad play calling aside, but here's he can't manage the clock. He's proven he has no idea about clock management. We're undisciplined. We can't get personnel on the field. It's bad. It's bad in Florida State. It's not just bad play calling, because you can call a bad play every once in a while.
Sure.
But when we can't get the right personnel on the field,
Yeah.
when you get hit in the head by a short punt,
What was he doing?
I mean it's bad. It's bad. The only worst thing that I saw happen on Saturday was Franklin's 4th down and 5 call.
His gaff at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4th and 5, and you call a zone read, and hand it off to up the middle, and the line is just being demolished when you hand the ball off, and that's how you win the game. You've at least got to get outside the pocket and give your athletic quarterback a chance to make a play.
Which game are you talking about?
He was killing
Penn State.
He was killing him on the run. I mean, how many yards did Trace McSorley have?
Yeah, I mean, it was...
McSorley had 175 rushing yards. The dude they handed the ball to was 16 of 43.
Maybe he thought Saquon was there.
Well, no.
Sanders is good. He's not Saquon. But
I mean, and I understand... that, hey, that is not necessarily when that play goes in. I'm sure that play did not go in with the caveat, hand it to him no matter what.
Yeah.
It was a zone read. He had the option to pull it. But even if he pulled it, it's not a first down.
right.
Yeah.
4th and 5 with the game on the line, you got to put the ball in the air or at least get it outside. You got to slide protection and give him the option to throw it or run it, not to hand it or run it.
Yeah.
And Franklin took it like a man. He put it on himself.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, he can't do anything else, right?
Well, no, not at that. I mean, not at that point. That to me, that game is always like that. Like that's always a it's a rivalry game, I guess. So it's one of those games. Like it's just absurd.
Clemson survived,
dude. Yeah,
almost. And listen, I want to talk about this in a minute.
Survived.
I want to talk about. I want to talk about the new. I want to talk about the new red shirt rule.
Yeah, the transfer. Well, it's not the transfer rule, but it's going to become the transfer rule.
Right. I want to talk about the new. In just a minute, I want to talk about the new red shirt rule.
Sure.
And what it means for college football, especially the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Okay. But I want to go to a story that's more like centrally tied. UMass. Have you seen what happened to Mark Whipple at UMass?
Tell me about it.
He's suspended for a game. Because this is what he said in his press conference. We had a chance there with 16 down, and they rape us. And he picks up the flag, Whipple said after the game in discussing a non-call. And what he said was pass interference on a UMass receiver. So the athletic director suspends him for a game because he used the terminology "they raped us."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I want to switch. I want to. So I was curious in today's hypersensitivity. Not that rape is a good thing. Okay, it's not a good thing. It's a terrible thing. But I wanted to know what the word actually meant.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. This is what it means. First of all, unlawful sexual activity. That is one of the definitions. Mm-hmm. I don't know what just happened there to my definition. It also means an outrageous violation. Okay?
That's it?
Mm-hmm. An act or instance of robbing or despoiling or carrying away a person by force. All right, now listen to what it means as a verb. To commit rape on, which is the noun.
Yeah.
To seize or take away by force. And that's exactly what he was defining that happened to his football team. They took away his victory. The referees took away his victory by force. But we're so hypersensitized now that we can't even use the English language.
I mean,
in sports.
I see what you're saying, but not your context, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little insensitive to use it.
That's the way I see exactly what you're saying.
Okay, but see, I say that in that venue because that is a term that has been used for years and years and years. Yes, put it in context. That's what I'm saying. Put it in context. For years and years and years and years and years, that has been used in that context in athletics. So now, because there is another contextual situation that's happening, it decontextualizes the way that term has been used in that arena for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I get it. I just think
that's not a one-game suspension for a coach and loss of pay.
Yeah, I think that's a little much. I do think he could have chosen another word, though. I mean, Merriam-Webster's pretty big, right? I mean, I get what you're saying. In a
I
conversation
do
with
too,
us,
and I think to go back to context, we had the whole Urban Meyer situation, who gets a 4-game suspension for something far worse than using the word rape in a press conference.
right?
So I mean,
But do
proportionally,
keep
I
context,
feel like
context in. He's in Massachusetts.
And it's possible. It's possible that Urban Meyer, though, I mean, that he was criminally liable
Right.
in things.
that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
that proportionally, these punishments for coaches just don't seem.
No.
They just don't seem right.
No. Oh, let me tell you what else doesn't seem right. Bobby Bowden, who has no idea what his players are doing in the classroom. He can't sit in the classroom with all of his players. Take a test and cheat in an online course. Okay? It was only proven that they cheated on one test. They all had A's in the class. Give them a 0. See if they pass the class. And they take an entire season of wins away from him and penalize him, and he's no longer the winning. Now, of course, we know Paterno did his deal and put Bobby back up there, but still, no, these crimes or these punishments don't fit the crimes.
Right. Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. And had that term only meant that, I would have been like, man, he shouldn't have used the word. But I looked it up I'm reading from the dictionary right now. Mm-hmm. That what if he is such a master of the English language that he knew the alternate definition? It could also mean the junk that's left over after they take the juice out of the grapes, but we know he didn't mean that. Did you know that?
No, what?
The part of the grape that's left over after they extract the juice from it is called the rape.
Do they spell juice with a G? You just lop the G off?
What?
Grape, the word grape.
Yeah, rape.
Juice with a G.
I guess I didn't even put that
so
together.
So you lop the G off, and what's left is the rape.
But yeah, I mean, I just thought that was. I just thought that punishment was extreme.
Yeah, I think it's extreme. I mean, I could see them saying,
dude, come on.
I could see them coming back and saying, "We apologize for use of that word."
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, put the guy out there saying, "Hey, man, I could
don't.
have used a better word. They didn't really rape us. They just molested us."
Let him tweet it. Let him tweet an apology.
I mean,
seems to work for everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, I'm not about that word has been. You're right, through the '80s, maybe some in the '90s, but now where we're at, especially where the country is at, I can see them getting upset, but not.
But why does broader contextualization rob the more specific textualization that it's been used in for a long time, and appropriately?
Yeah, because it's not.
It's an appropriate use of the definition and word.
I mean, here's the thing with words, right? Like, they take the meaning that we give them, right? So they're elastic.
Connotation, denotation.
Yeah, there's elasticity to them, and so the connotation now that word is taking on is just, I mean, like in England, we can't use my name because Randy means something inappropriate, but we can use it in America. It's just the changing society. I think if he had not said it where a bunch of people would hear it, and it's Massachusetts. Keep that in mind. Massachusetts is liberal.
So he should be able to say it.
Not there. They're like hypersensitive about those type of issues.
But they should be liberal and offer a liberal use of the word.
Well, now you're talking about meanings of words that have taken totally different.
But okay, but I mean that's what I'm saying. We are defining these words by things that are happening in culture, rather than using words as an expression of what happened in culture.
Oh, yeah.
Words are meant to define what we see, not what we see define words.
I mean, I think it works both ways. Just like,
I mean, I'm not here to, argue, to have an English lesson. That's not what I'm doing. I was pointing it out because, man, this guy's suspended
right
for the proper, in its rawest form, proper use of the word.
Yeah.
proper use of the
Yeah,
of the
I
word.
don't think he meant to use it in a crass way, the way teenagers use it when they
because
get
what
beat
I
in
would
Fortnite.
like, because
you know what
I mean,
like,
well, let's take the
you know what I mean?
Kavanaugh, let's take the
Yeah.
Kavanaugh thing for existed.
We
for
promise
example.
this is not
Yeah,
Third Thoughts,
but I'm
but
just
we're
saying, okay, if we're looking at, depending on how this turns out,
yeah.
if we're going to apply the same rule, then Kavanaugh, if it turns out in this, it's not going to, but this investigation turns out that he did it. Kavanaugh could be erased. I mean, he Kavanaugh'd her.
Yeah, we could totally use that as a. I mean,
Okay, but if he's found innocent, which he probably will be, I mean, there's just even if he did it, there's nothing.
No.
I mean, there's just no evidence there. Okay, so if he's innocent, then a Kavanaugh is somebody who is unjustly accused.
yep. I mean, but that's how words develop. Words develop along with culture, and they change meanings over time. I
But
mean,
you shouldn't get suspended from your job for using one properly the way that the word is defined.
No, I agree. I would wonder who. I mean, who makes that decision? Did the AD?
AD.
The AD, I'm sure.
But
I
I'm
mean-
sure what happened is somebody called the AD.
Yeah.
The AD didn't hear it and go,
nah,
Yeah, I'm
dude,
sure he got
that's-
because the
pressure. That's what I
AD was
mean.
because
That's what
the
I
AD turned around and looked at the president of the university and said, "Man, we just got raped."
That's the liberal culture.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a context too. If he used that word amongst his friends, or if we use that word to say, "Man, our team got demolished," and we use that word, like I don't even want to use it because I don't want to be accused. But if you use that word amongst friends, it's different. You know, it's one of those situations where it's just your context. I think too. I mean, Massachusetts, those people are definitely going to be
Yeah, I'm sure.
hypersensitive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was in a post game conference.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
we're talking about like on
Dude was emotional,
TV.
mad.
Yeah, and I'm sure somebody like probably several people watching it were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he would say that." Call up the AD's office and be like, "Yo, I'm a booster and I'm not happy about." You know what I mean? Like I'm sure it was something like that, and he probably felt the pressure. And
But suspension's crazy, dude.
that
Like,
is,
I don't
I
get
think
that.
that is an overreaction for
Yeah.
I
sure.
think
Absolutely.
that's an overreaction for sure. I mean, I personally wouldn't use that word because I have to catch myself using that word. I have, talking about sports, I have to stop myself because that is a.
Sure.
It was okay back in the day, and now you wonder what people are going to say
Yeah.
because we are in a very sensitive culture.
Yeah. Well, I agree. Let's talk about something that wasn't an overreaction. Last week, when Kelly Bryant transferred, you said
I told you we
Yeah.
wanted to get back here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Last
we have
week
to.
you
This
said,
is
Chief,
important.
you said Clemson is done. They have no shot now. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was an overreaction because I honestly didn't think Trevor Lawrence was going down. But sure enough, in the first half of the Syracuse game, he rushes for some reason and runs out of bounds and falls forward and gets clipped.
He didn't slide.
Falls
he got
forward
freaking
and got blasted.
nailed. We
by the
could use the
corner.
word we just talked about. He got.
He was
That wouldn't be appropriate use of the word according to the definition.
he got snapped. Okay, it looked bad.
Yeah, right.
Like I think everyone was like, "Yep, concussion." Like as soon as they saw it, because it was just one of those hits, you know.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing about athletic concussions. Once you get one,
Yep.
you seem to be predisposed to getting others
Yeah,
through less voracious
Yep.
impact.
yeah,
And the problem with that offense, and this is what was curious to me with Bryant transferring, that offense, if you looking back the last few years, it's a running offense with the quarterback. The quarterback runs quite a bit. The quarterback run. And T. Lawrence, he is athletic. I watched him some in high school. He's an athletic dude. But you can't run when your third string, or I guess now your second string, is a freshman, redshirt freshman. And then behind him, they started naming all the people. I mean, like, it's a wide receiver.
Well, this is what happened in the game. Immediately, what happened is they sent someone or they made a phone call and they found out. I'm talking about the announcers of the football game.
Yeah, right.
And they found out Kelly Bryant is still enrolled in school, so it's possible for him to come back.
And they said, Dabo said he would take
Yeah.
him back.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said that. He said he would take him back. He loves him. I mean, that'd be a tough sell.
Let me tell you what Dabo loves. Winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Now, Dabo's a good guy.
He is.
I mean, he's a good guy.
I agree with that.
But Dabo loves winning.
Yeah.
So Dabo loves winning.
Yeah, I mean,
Dabo's goofy.
well, he's just country, you know.
He's country goofy.
He's just country. I couldn't believe it. I was watching that happen, and I was like, there's just no way Lawrence goes down. And then, Chase Bryce came out there and played.
At the
fine.
end, he turned out good. At the end, he started out rough.
I mean, they really changed the scheme.
Right.
They really leaned on the run.
Yep. Which they were gashing them.
Which they were.
They were absolutely and here's my thing.
were.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
Dude, why do you not have like 8 dudes? Go ahead and put 10 dudes in the box and leave one safety back. But my gosh.
Yeah, especially.
They're gashing them.
As soon as Lawrence left the game, if I was Syracuse, I'd have just loaded the box.
Yeah.
Every play.
And what's incredible, though, Bryce won that game in the end with 2 things. He ran that one run at the end. What was it, like 15 yards? I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
He's a big dude, though. He's like 6'3", 220, something like that. They showed his picture from when he first came in. I was like, yeah, he's had a few of the dining hall's hamburgers because he packed it on, man. But he's a big dude.
Yep.
And then he made that laser pinpoint throw between the zone. That was incredible.
It was. He stepped up. He played.
He stepped it up at the end.
Yeah.
And won the game for him. But they dropped. I mean, did you see this in the coaches poll? Georgia jumped them.
Did they?
Yeah, which is, we can talk about that in a minute. But
yeah, so talk about this rule, Chief. Let's talk about what you think.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've already seen it. We saw it at Auburn. Auburn's lost 2 players.
Yep, one of their best receivers.
Because of the rule. They've already lost 2 players. Kelly Bryant
Yep.
He's not coming back.
No, I don't think he'll come back.
He's not coming back.
Well, as the team, the rest of the team.
If a report today were to come out that Trevor Lawrence is done for the year, definitely, he might come back. But I don't think he's coming back. And then you've got the hero of the world, Jalen Hurts, who didn't transfer.
Right.
I mean, he came out in the 5th game. Everybody was like, "Oh."
He's in a different situation though, because he can transfer after this year as a grad transfer. So
but everybody's saying, "Oh, he's such a good teammate. He's such a good and he is." I mean, he honestly stood on the sidelines last year during that national championship game. He cheered Tua on. I mean, he's been supportive. He's only said good things about Tua. He's a good teammate, but he's made a personal decision to further his career.
Yeah.
Because for the first time, it's what most people don't realize, for the first time being at Alabama, he has a dedicated quarterback coach to work with him every day. Mm-hmm. Up until this point, the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator have been the same person.
Oh.
But now, while Tua is out there running number 1 offense, Jalen's standing there with his quarterback coach, and his quarterback coach is pointing out everything Tua's doing wrong. Mm-hmm. He's telling Jalen how to get better. He's standing back there with a quarterback coach, and he's looking, and he's saying, "Hey, you know what? Look, they're in cover 2 right now. Make the throw right now." And Jalen's learning all this, and he's getting better as a quarterback because he has a dedicated quarterback coach, probably a better coach than he's going to get anywhere that will take him as a transfer next year.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, and it would do him no good at this point to sit out the rest of the season. He can play this entire season.
They're going to thump everybody. I mean, they're going to thump everybody. He's going to get half of every game.
Tua threw 8 passes Saturday. It was 49-0, I think, at halftime.
Yeah. Did you see somebody bet on that game?
No.
Somebody bet almost $1,600 in Vegas on Alabama winning, and they won $1.60.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Why would you make that bet, though?
They needed a pack of crackers.
I need the vending machine in my hotel to work for me, so I'm about to go bet $1,600
to win $1.50.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why you do that. I guess you just got money. You just do something for fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, because I think he was in the first quarter. It was that bad. They went ahead and put him in because it was just.
So, I mean, this new rule, basically, what it's going to do if you get mad at the coach, or what's going to be even worse, we already saw it starting with bowl games.
Right, with people not playing.
I'm not going to make.
Yeah.
We're not really in a good bowl. We're not going to the playoffs. So I'm going to sit out the bowl game. Now, just Scott Frost. Where's he at?
Nebraska.
You're 0. No, they're 0-4. They played 4 ball games. All these seniors and juniors start looking around, and they're thinking, we ain't making a bowl. What is there left to play for? I'm just going to sit out the rest of the season, and I'm going to go somewhere else where we can win.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to start seeing, that superstars just take the last 8 games of the season off when they start out bad? It could happen.
It could happen. And what the bad thing is, that's an unintended consequence of what in some ways is a good rule. I mean, Georgia had a guy get hurt back in spring camp, early spring camp, tore his ACL.
Yeah.
He may be able to come back for the last 4 games of the season. And he's practicing now. He's moving around well. He's getting, reps with the second and third team. This dude may be able to come back for the last 4 games, and his ACL will be healed up enough for him to play, right?
Yeah.
And you have these young guys that need to get in and get some experience and game experience, but they can still get a redshirt. So I see the advantages, but I think the disadvantages may, in the end, outweigh them.
I think they're going to have to come back and tweak the rule.
Yeah.
Well, they probably
I think
are.
they're going to have to come back and say a freshman can play in 4 games.
Right.
And still be redshirted.
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because it makes it makes perfect sense for the young guys to get experience, and for you to be able to come down to crunch time, and you're going to make the SEC championship game. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got all these young, talented guys that are sitting back here, but they're not vital because they haven't played yet.
Right.
But I've got, I don't know who Alabama's last game is of the season. Is it Auburn?
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Or, all right, Alabama's not going to do it against Auburn. But, I'm just going to rest my guys.
Right.
If we got a chump, I'm just going to rest my guys the last game of the season. I'm not going to play those guys early.
Right.
I'm going to wait and play them late. Mm-hmm. That way I'm going into the SEC championship, the ACC championship, completely healthy.
Yeah.
So we're going to pull our guys. And, I think that's what the rule was intended for, and it was intended to get guys experience. Mm-hmm. And my question is going to be this. I know it's the same season, okay? But what if a player early enrolls, comes in to school, can they play in the bowl game? They're in school and take a red shirt. So in other words, you play in high school.
Yeah.
You enroll in December.
Yeah.
Your bowl game is January 8th. Can those kids now come in and play in that bowl game?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that the rules stipulate they can't play unless they change that rule. I'm pretty
because
sure
it's for the season.
Yeah, because
it's the season, not the calendar year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great in some ways.
But yeah, it'd be awesome. I get my freshman in there, and he's taking snaps in the national championship game, and then these guys that I'm still recruiting that didn't commit early,
right?
I'm saying, hey, not only do our freshmen play, our guys that enrolled in December are playing for a national championship. Come get on board.
Here, going back to Kelly Bryant, it's going to make this so hard for these coaches to manage.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it though; they keep showing the graphic of the dual threat quarterbacks that keep, or the dual threat and or dual quarterback system. Some of them are dual threat guys. They keep showing the graphic of how Bama's doing it, Georgia's doing it as well. Justin Fields played a ton this weekend, more than he has, and then with Clemson. My question for Dabo is, why did he even announce that he was going to do this? Was he trying to be a good dude because of this?
Yes.
This 4-game rule? I think that's what he had to be doing. I wouldn't have announced it if it were me. I would have waited. I would have maybe even put Bryant's good enough against. Dude, they're not playing anybody. Who in the ACC is Clemson playing the rest of the year that's decent? Nobody.
Florida State.
Like I said, they're not playing anybody that's decent the rest of the year.
Well, it depends on whether Lawrence is healthy or not.
Well, we really
Well,
don't
now,
We
that's what
really
I'm saying
don't
now.
know. I mean,
But yeah, I mean,
NC State.
what he could have done. I mean, what Dabo could have done is
Miami,
not
maybe.
say anything.
Right. Yeah.
Run Bryant out on the field for the very first snap.
Let him play that game, the first series even.
Just, I mean, if Lawrence is your guy, run him out there, let him take the first snap, pull him off, and put Lawrence in for the rest of the game. I mean, he could have done that. I think Dabo is genuinely a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he thought Kelly Bryant was going to leave.
He said that he didn't think he was.
I don't think
He couldn't have known that he was going to leave. If he wouldn't have done it, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, Saban's handled it. I mean, I think Saban's in a different situation, though. You get a junior. Hurts is a junior. Hurts can be a grad transfer next year. That's different. Georgia's handling it. Justin Fields knew coming in that Fromm was the dude, right? I mean, he signed and knew Fromm was the dude. But he also knew, Kirby said early on, he wasn't going to redshirt Fields. And you can't. The dude's dynamic. I mean...
Well, that was part of his recruitment.
Yeah. And he's just too dynamic. I mean, I didn't think beginning the season that he would ever overtake Fromm. I'm starting to wonder if maybe by the end of the year, if he gets the passing down, we may see him. I mean, he saw a ton of action. Some of that had to do with, if you watch the Georgia game, we were sloppy on offense. I mean, we left 21 points on the board with a couple of overthrows by Fromm. I mean, just his timing was just a hair off.
What that gives you really is you have a game like Fromm played a little bit against Tennessee where he's got a couple of turnovers.
Yeah.
And just sloppy play, right? It gives the coach the opportunity to go, hey, Fromm, stop playing sloppy.
Yep.
Because I'll just put Fields in. See, that's the thing, and I think a lot of coaches don't have that luxury.
No, it was great.
Because now, let's say Trevor Lawrence is still in. Trevor comes out. He's young.
Yep.
He plays a sloppy game. Dabo can't say, hey, I'm about to put Kelly in.
Right.
Shape
that's
it up.
the thing.
Now he's got to go, what's he going to say? Well, I'm about to put Bryce in. Like, that's not nearly
Well, yeah,
as
because
for a
the
coach,
option,
you don't have
because
that.
then you have the options, a sloppy Trevor Lawrence playing sloppy is better than whatever his name is playing good.
Chase Bryce.
Your third string, who doesn't have
But what's mystifying to
experience.
me against A&M, he did rotate and flip-flop, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Kelly Bryant was the better of the two in the end. He pulled the game out for them. I understand that Lawrence's arm talent is absolutely amazing. I mean, the dude can...
Yeah, but it wasn't until game 3 that Lawrence came out and just took over the competition. He looked so good in game 3.
Right.
That there was just no denying that, But what if it was a fluke?
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Pitchers, we look at it. You were a pitcher, right?
I was a catcher.
I thought you were a pitcher.
So we can talk about pitchers. I know pitchers.
Okay, we can talk about pitchers then. That's why you have bad knees. That explains a lot. But pitchers have bad days, right? The best pitcher in the world goes out sometimes, and he is just off.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that's what we don't, with football, it's weird, isn't it? You don't usually have a situation where, like yesterday or Saturday, they kept flip-flopping Fields and Fromm. I've never seen, I mean, it's been a while. Maybe Spurrier in the 90s did that.
They even did it not just between possessions.
Yeah, during the same possession.
Yeah, and not only that, they did it during the same, and I know this is going to sound ridiculous, during the same play.
Yeah.
Fields was on the field. There was a motion penalty called.
Yep.
Fields comes off the field, and Fromm goes on the field and runs the play.
Here's what was confusing to me, if you saw this. It was very confusing. They put Fields in to spark us because we were just kind of bogging down. Fields drives us down. We get into the red zone, and they pull him.
Yeah.
And then about 2 or 3 drives later, they do the opposite. Fromm starts off, drives us down to the red zone. They put Fields in, and Fields runs around in for like 15-yard touchdown. I didn't understand it. But you know what?
if
It worked,
If we're talking
so-
about coaches' decisions that we don't understand, man, that's a day-long podcast for me.
Oh
Yeah, I mean-
double reverse. The slowest developing play
Ever.
in football, with the worst offensive line in football, and you're moving the ball down the field, and you're going to call a double reverse.
See, this is the beautiful thing about listening on the radio. Those things are way less infuriating. Because you just think, oh, something bad happened. Like, it's no big deal. But if you watch that develop, I get angry. I usually turn off the TV and then turn it right back on. 'Cause that makes me feel better. I don't know if anybody else does that.
No.
I just yell a little louder.
Man.
Yeah.
So let's move on. I because I'm going to have to depart.
That's fine. We're almost done.
Yeah, but I want to talk about another epic meltdown.
Sure.
Not college football,
Okay.
in the golf world.
Yeah. Tigre.
The Ryder Cup.
Yep.
U.S. loses 17.5 to 10.5. Mm-hmm. It was the worst coached and executed Ryder Cup I've ever seen. It was as if Jim Furyk had no clue
Yeah.
what was happening. It was. He put people together who had no business playing together. He didn't put people together who have had success playing together. I was completely baffled at the matchups he sent out.
Why do you think these things happen? We're talking about coaches' decisions. We're talking about this. These things that just seem bizarre. Is there some stage of this strategy that it doesn't seem bizarre, and it just doesn't play out well? I mean, what are there too many variables for? Because we talk about sports is big on stats, right? Like anytime we talk about sports, we talk about the stats.
Yes.
We talk about the proven numbers that we've seen develop over a period of time, and then you have things like this.
Yes.
I mean, were they just trying to mix it up and see what would happen?
Well, I think a lot of it came down to the fact that Jordan Spieth is a little girl. And,
so it's personalities.
And
then.
he complained he didn't want to play with Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth are an incredible pair in the Ryder Cup. So are Ricky Fowler and Justin Thomas. As a matter of fact, I believe those two together those two teams together in the last Ryder Cup were 8-0-1.
Oh wow!
But because Patrick Reed runs his mouth, hurt Jordan Spieth's feelings by saying he carried him in the last Ryder Cup and all of this, so they don't play together. So Patrick Reed, first of all, sits Friday afternoon, doesn't play at all. He played with Tiger, and he played terribly. Patrick Reed played terribly. Not Tiger did too, but Patrick Reed would have shot over 80 playing his own ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's bad.
Yeah.
So Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth play together. They play well together. But you have lost an entire point every day by not making that two pairs instead of one pair.
Right.
And then you got Phil Mickelson, who has no idea where the ball's going when he hits it. No idea. And it was just a mess from the get-go. And America got destroyed at the Ryder Cup. But what an environment. Listen, the Europeans host an incredible event at the Ryder Cup. They have organized cheers and clapping. It's unbelievable.
Sounds like youth camp.
It is. I mean, and they do that, ole, ole, ole.
Of course they do.
They're confused.
It's
incredible just to
think it's
because you don't normally see that environment around golf anywhere except for the Ryder Cup hosted in Europe.
The golf's normally quiet.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. So yeah, epic failure, epic coaching failure in the golf world too.
It happens, man. I'm always curious to see why it happens. Hey, if you have a theory, if you're listening, you have a theory of why these unexplainable things happen, we would love to hear that theory. Leave us a comment or a review. That really helps us out a lot. We thank you for being here with us on Third and Long. Boz, UGA's got Vandy this week.
Woo! Actually,
So
I can't. You know what, dude? The last time I went there was when Kirby got beaten 2 years ago. For my anniversary weekend usually falls on that weekend. It doesn't this year.
Well,
The weekend I got married in 2006, they lost to Vandy. Lost to Vandy, and we're still married. Can you believe it?
Yeah. I mean, that's surprises me. So I don't think the Bulldogs are going to have much trouble. FSU takes on Miami on Saturday at 3:30, which is great.
Oh, wow. Y'all got the 3:30 slot.
I'm actually so glad. I think Miami wanted the 8 o'clock slot because they think they're better than they are. But yeah, 3:30 is better for me.
FSU, baby. I'm
I have
pulling.
to work early Sunday morning, so I'm going to go watch it with my dad. He's a Miami fan. But he's going to pay for the food, so.
Dude, I'm a Knowles fan this
who's
weekend.
losing here? You know what I'm saying?
I really need Mark Richt to tank to
that's what you're
continue to
going for?
justify that Georgia was right to fire him, which they were. I mean,
Look, it will be a miracle.
dude, Nick Chubb yesterday and Sonny Michel balled.
Great games, yeah.
Nick Chubb had something like 3 carries and over 100. I think it was 104, 105 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, the NFL was interesting yesterday. We didn't really get to that, but you see Earl Thomas flip the bird to his own sideline as he was being carted off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Seahawks.
Bunch of big babies.
Seahawks. Yeah, it is. At that
That's
point,
why I can't watch an NFL, dude.
I get
They
it.
get too.
I get it. It happens. But hey, thanks for being with us. I've been with the Chief. I've been with RNDY. It's been Third and Long. I am your Monday morning QB1, Clay. It's been a pleasure, and until next time.